Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. In the incredible realm of coin collecting, some of the most captivating stories don't come from ancient treasures or gold bullion, but from the most unassuming coins hiding right in plain sight. One such coin is the 1999 Washington quarter, specifically, the Delaware State quarter. At first glance, it looks like just another quarter that might be buried under your couch cushions or rattling around in your car's cup holder. But this coin has a story, one tied to American history, innovation in the minting process, and a shocking valuation that has caught even seasoned collectors off guard. It's a coin that transformed the way Americans viewed their pocket change and kicked off one of the most ambitious and successful coin series in U.S. mint history. The Delaware State Quarter was the first to be released in the landmark 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999 and ran through 2008. This program wasn't just a government initiative, it was a national phenomenon. People of all ages, from casual savers to serious numismatists, found themselves poring over their change, looking for the latest design. The Delaware Quarter, with its depiction of Caesar Rodney galloping on horseback during his historic ride to cast a crucial vote for American independence, symbolized courage and the deep roots of democracy. It was a bold choice for the first release in the series, and its debut sparked a collecting frenzy that continued for a decade. But while millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, not all were created equal. Among the masses, a very small number of Delaware State quarters were struck with rare errors or were preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition. These are the coins that caught the eyes of collectors and experts alike. One of the most notable types of errors associated with the 1999 Delaware quarter is the spitting horse variety, a dyed break that makes it look as if the horse on the coin is spitting. These unusual imperfections, often invisible to the casual observer, are treasures to numismatists. And when a coin like this is paired with exceptional preservation, meaning it has never been in circulation, has mirror-like surfaces, and is free from scratches, it becomes not just rare, but immensely valuable. There's something uniquely thrilling about the possibility that such a valuable coin could still be out there in circulation. It inspires hope in every coin roll hunter and casual collector. Imagine going through your spare change one day, your attention caught by a shiny quarter from 1999. You examine it closely, notice something slightly different, and decide to have it appraised. What you assumed was just 25 cents could end up being one of the rarest and most valuable state quarters ever discovered. These moments aren't just fairy tales, they've happened before, and they continue to fuel the dreams of coin enthusiasts everywhere. Behind every valuable Delaware quarter lies a combination of perfect timing, minting precision, and extraordinary care and preservation. Coins that survive for decades without a single blemish, kept safe in original mint sets or found untouched in bank rolls, are already rare. Add to that a minting error or variation that occurred during production, and the coin's value skyrockets. It's the kind of coin that auction houses fight to offer, that seasoned collectors fiercely bid for, and that takes center stage in private collections and museum displays. The story of the 1999 Delaware State Quarter is more than just a tale about coin collecting. It's a celebration of American history, art, and the passion of the collector. It reminds us that even in an age of digital transactions and virtual currency, there's still magic to be found in metal. A single coin can hold a story, a mystery, and a dream. And in one exceptional case, a Delaware State quarter from 1999, preserved in pristine condition and carrying a unique mint error, sold for a jaw-dropping $65,000. Top 2. In the vast and intricate world of coin collecting, certain pieces stand out not just for their monetary value but for the rich tapestry of history and artistry they represent. One such coin is the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter, a part of the U.S. Mint's ambitious 50 State Quarters program. This program aimed to honor each state's unique heritage, and Connecticut's quarter, featuring the iconic Charter Oak, is a testament to the state's deep-rooted history and the nation's journey towards independence. The Charter Oak, depicted on the reverse of the coin, is not just a tree but a symbol of American resilience and the fight for self-governance. In 1687, as the British sought to revoke Connecticut's charter, colonists hid the document within the hollow of this very tree, safeguarding their rights and laying a foundation for the democratic principles we cherish today. This act of defiance, and the tree itself, became emblematic of the state's spirit, making its portrayal on the quarter deeply significant. While the coin's design captures a pivotal moment in history, its value in the numismatic community is further amplified by rare minting anomalies. Among the most sought after are the experimental planchet errors. These unique coins were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for the Sacagawea dollar, resulting in a distinct gold hue, increased thickness, and a smoother edge devoid of the typical reading. Such errors are exceedingly rare, with only a handful known to exist, making them a prized possession for collectors. Another notable error is the obverse brockage, where a coin is struck with a previously minted coin still in the die, leading to a mirrored impression on one side. These errors, while more common than the experimental planchet, still command significant interest and value in the collector's market. The allure of the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter lies not just in its design or errors but also in its place within a transformative period in U.S. coinage. The 50 State Quarters program reignited public interest in coin collecting, introducing a new generation to the joys of numismatics. Connecticut's quarter, with its rich symbolism and rare variants, stands as a shining example of this renaissance. For those fortunate enough to possess one of these rare era coins, the value can be substantial. A pristine 1999 Connecticut State Quarter with the experimental planchet error has been valued at an impressive $55,000. This valuation reflects not only the coin's rarity, but also the profound historical narrative it encapsulates. Top 3. In the ever-evolving world of numismatics, where collectors constantly seek rare and fascinating coins from American history, one particular quarter has steadily risen in popularity and value: the 2007 Washington State Quarter featuring Montana. It may seem like just another piece of loose change to the casual eye, a simple 25-cent coin passed from hand to hand at convenience stores or tucked into parking meters. But for dedicated collectors and enthusiasts, the Montana State Quarter from the Washington series is a prized possession, holding not just historical significance but also surprising monetary value. What is it about this particular quarter that commands such interest? What makes a coin minted just a few years ago worth far more than its face value? Today, we're diving deep into the story behind this remarkable coin, its design, origin, potential minting errors, and why some versions of it have fetched staggering prices in the collector's market. The United States Mint began the 50 State Quarters program in 1999, an initiative that would go on to become one of the most successful and popular coin programs in American history. Spanning a decade, the program released 5 new quarters each year, each featuring a unique design commemorating one of the 50 states. These designs were chosen to reflect each state's culture, history, or natural beauty. Montana's quarter, released in 2007, features a bold and symbolic design, a bison skull over a sweeping landscape of mountains and plains, with the state motto, "Big Sky Country," proudly displayed. It's a nod to the rugged wilderness and pioneering spirit that defines Montana's heritage. The powerful imagery of the bison skull, an homage to the once vast herds that roamed the plains, and the breathtaking backdrop speaks to the state's natural grandeur and resilience. Now, let's talk about the Montana quarter's significance in the context of coin collecting. Most of these quarters were circulated in the millions, making them common in everyday use. However, certain factors can elevate a specific coin from common pocket change to an extraordinary collectible. One of the most influential factors is condition. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those graded highly by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, are far rarer and thus more valuable. For instance, a Montana quarter graded MS68 or higher becomes significantly more desirable due to its exceptional preservation, with crisp details and a brilliant finish, But condition isn't the only factor. Minting errors can play a massive role in a coin's value. In the case of the 2007 Montana quarter, collectors have documented a range of potential errors that turn an ordinary coin into a rare gem. These include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet errors. A double die error, for example, can result in a visible doubling of letters or details, making the coin unique and a standout in any collection. Even more subtle anomalies, such as variations in the state outline, irregularities in the bison skull detail, or differences in lettering alignment, can add intrigue and increase demand among collectors. These errors are often the result of imperfections during the minting process and are generally unintentional, but their rarity makes them highly sought after. We also can't ignore the importance of mint marks when discussing coin value. The Montana quarter was minted at several facilities, including Philadelphia, marked by a P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. While the S mint mark typically designates proof coins intended for collectors and not regular circulation, the Denver and Philadelphia mint coins were widely released to the public. Interestingly, in some years and for some states, one mint may produce coins with a higher incidence of striking errors, which only adds to the mystique. Collectors will often analyze the die varieties, strike quality, and finish of coins from each mint to determine which is most desirable. For the Montana quarter, some of the most valuable coins have originated from the Denver mint, especially when combined with high grades or unique errors. The Montana design also holds special significance for its artistic merit. The bison skull isn't just a striking visual, it's a culturally and historically charged image that resonates with many. For Native American tribes of the plains, such as the Crow and Blackfeet, the bison held deep spiritual importance. It provided not only sustenance but also materials for shelter, clothing, and tools. Its skull, often used in ceremonies and symbolism, is a powerful representation of life, sacrifice, and the sacred bond between humans and the natural world. By incorporating this imagery, the Montana quarter transcends mere monetary function to become a miniature work of art and history. As with many collectibles, the thrill of the hunt plays a huge role in the value of coins like this. While millions were produced, the chances of finding a mint condition or error-laden Montana quarter in your pocket change are slim. This rarity, combined with cultural significance, artistic design, and the growing interest in coin collecting fueled by online communities and auction platforms, contributes to a dramatic increase in value over time. It's not just about the metal or the minting, it's about what the coin represents. A slice of American heritage, captured in copper-nickel alloy and preserved for future generations. And now, we arrive at the question everyone's been waiting for: how much could a Montana state quarter from 2007 actually be worth today? While the vast majority of these coins are only worth their face value of 25 cents, a select few, those in perfect condition, struck with rare errors, and highly graded by professional services, have sold for astonishing amounts at auctions and private sales. Believe it or not, one of the finest known examples of the 2007 Washington quarter featuring Montana, preserved in extraordinary condition and featuring an error that makes it one of a kind, was valued at a staggering $35,000. Top 4. Imagine walking past a simple coin on the sidewalk, a coin you might have ignored countless times before. It's small, circular, and bears the familiar image of George Washington, the first President of the United States. You think it's just pocket change. But what if I told you that some of these coins, specifically the 1965 Washington quarter dollar, are hiding in plain sight with a value that could rival the price of a luxury car, or even a small house? Yes, today we're diving deep into the fascinating and hidden world of one of the most overlooked treasures in American coinage history, the 1965 Washington quarter. Get ready, because this isn't just another old coin. This is a story of rare errors, transition years, lost metals, and the incredible worth of numismatic legends. The year 1965 was not just a random point in history. It was a turning point for U.S. coinage. This was the year when the United States Mint stopped using 90% silver in the production of dimes and quarters. Due to the rising cost of silver, the U.S. government had to make a major decision. For decades, quarters were minted with a composition of 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, that all changed. The mint shifted to a copper-nickel clad composition, which became the new standard. From that year on, quarters would consist of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. On the surface, this sounds like a simple change in materials, but for collectors, this change opened the door to a host of rare errors and transition coins, some of which are among the most valuable in the world. Now, what makes the 1965 Washington quarter so special? Why are collectors going wild for a coin that most people would assume is worthless in circulation? It all comes down to rarity and error. You see, during this transitional year, there were instances when the mint accidentally struck 1965 quarters on silver planchets that were meant to be phased out. These rare coins look almost identical to the regular copper-nickel versions, but they are made of 90% silver. The difference is subtle to the untrained eye, but to collectors and experts, it's worth a fortune. A silver 1965 quarter is extremely rare, and even finding one in average condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Let's paint a vivid picture of what happened. Imagine the immense pressure and speed at which the U.S. Mint was operating. Billions of coins were being produced, and the transition from silver to clad was happening across various facilities. Mistakes were bound to happen. Some leftover silver planchets, those blank discs used to strike coins, accidentally ended up being used to mint 1965 quarters. The coins were never supposed to exist, yet they slipped through the cracks of the system and into circulation. Most people who found them probably had no idea. But for collectors today, these errors are the holy grail, and it doesn't stop there. The 1965 Washington quarter also has a unique appeal because it was not issued with a mint mark. Unlike previous years, where coins were produced at different mints and marked with letters like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, the 1965 quarter has no mint mark at all. This was another intentional decision by the mint to discourage coin hoarding during the coin shortage of the mid-1960s. The lack of a mint mark adds another layer of mystery and intrigue to the coin. It means you can't trace its origin just by looking at it, making the hunt even more thrilling for collectors. Now let's talk about some of the more specific varieties and anomalies. Over the years, collectors have identified several noteworthy errors within the 1965 Washington quarters. Double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and transitional silver errors are just a few. One of the most famous is the 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet from 1964. It looks, feels, and sounds different. If you drop it, the ring it produces is more high-pitched compared to the duller sound of a copper-nickel coin. These subtle details can make a world of difference when you're examining old change. Many of these rare 1965 quarters have been discovered by pure luck. People going through coin rolls, checking old piggy banks, or simply examining the coins in their wallet have stumbled upon these hidden gems. In one particularly memorable case, a collector found a 1965 silver quarter while searching through a bag of mixed change purchased at a garage sale. He sent it in for grading and authentication, and it turned out to be one of the finest examples known, a coin now worth a staggering fortune. It's stories like these that fuel the passion of the coin collecting community and keep the dream alive that one day, you too might find a jackpot in your spare change. And the beauty of this hobby is that it's accessible to everyone. You don't need to be a millionaire or a historian. All you need is curiosity, a sharp eye, and a willingness to look. Coin collecting combines history, economics, and detective work. Every coin has a story, and the 1965 Washington quarter tells one of the most compelling stories of them all. Stay tuned for part 2 of this script where we will go deeper into the grading scale, auction results, expert tips on identifying the rare silver 1965 quarter, and how you can tell if you're holding one of the most valuable coins in America. And yes, in case you're wondering, the highest known value of one of these extraordinary coins reached an astonishing $135,000. Top 5. The story of a seemingly ordinary coin can sometimes hold the weight of history, the intrigue of mystery, and the thrill of unimaginable value. Imagine walking down the street, hearing the clink of change in your pocket, and unknowingly holding a piece of American heritage worth a fortune. That's the captivating tale of the 1971 Washington quarter dollar, a coin so common that it's often overlooked, yet so rare in certain conditions that collectors are willing to pay staggering sums to claim one for their collection. Now, let's journey back to 1971. The early 70s marked a transformative period in American society. The Vietnam War was still raging, the counterculture movement was reshaping traditional norms, and the economy was on a roller coaster of inflation and uncertainty. Amid this backdrop, millions of coins were minted by the United States Mint, each carrying a story, a purpose, and an identity. Among them was the Washington quarter, bearing the profile of America's first president, a familiar face on a familiar coin. The 1971 Washington quarter may not stand out at first glance. It features the same obverse design that's been in use since 1932, created by John Flanagan. George Washington's iconic side profile is boldly struck, a symbol of enduring leadership. The inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," frame his image, while the date, 1971, marks its birth year. Flip it over, and you'll find the majestic eagle on the reverse, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbols of strength and peace, ready for conflict but hoping for harmony. But what makes this coin special? What separates a valuable 1971 quarter from the billions of its kind still in circulation today? It all begins with minting anomalies, rare errors, and pristine conditions. The 1971 Washington quarter was produced at multiple mints, primarily Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a D. While most of these quarters were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, replacing the 90% silver alloy used in earlier decades, some incredibly rare transitional errors and variations snuck into circulation. Among the most desirable 1971 quarters are those that exhibit double dies, an error in the minting process where the design is struck more than once, slightly offset, creating a doubled appearance in the lettering or numbers. Collectors go wild for these kinds of imperfections because they represent a flaw in a highly controlled process, making each such coin unique. And then there are those quarters that, due to sheer luck and meticulous care, survive the test of time in nearly flawless condition. Coins graded MS-67 or higher, meaning mint state with virtually no visible blemishes, are incredibly rare. The process of grading coins is an exacting one, done by professionals who scrutinize every detail under magnification. A coin graded at the top of the scale can be exponentially more valuable than one just a grade or two below. Still, there's more to the story. Rumors and reports have circulated over the years about 1971 quarters struck on silver planchets. Blanks left over from earlier minting years, somehow mistakenly used after silver was discontinued for circulation coins in 1970. These so-called transitional error coins are the holy grail for collectors, because they exist at the intersection of rarity, historical importance, and pure accident. Just a few of these in the world can create a frenzy in the numismatic community. But the value of a coin isn't based solely on rarity. There's something deeply nostalgic about old coins. They represent a connection to the past, a tangible piece of the everyday lives of people who came before us. Holding a 1971 quarter that's passed through countless hands is like shaking hands with history. And when that quarter also happens to be a rare gem, its value skyrockets beyond metal and mint. It becomes a priceless artifact. Let's also not forget the thrill of the hunt. Coin collectors, or numismatists, often speak of the excitement they feel sifting through rolls of coins from banks, hoping to find that one extraordinary piece among the mundane. The idea that you might find a 1971 Washington quarter worth a life-changing sum in your spare change is enough to captivate the imagination. Stories have emerged of individuals stumbling upon rare coins in their childhood piggy banks, tucked inside old drawers, or passed down through family members unaware of their true worth. In recent years, the coin collecting community has seen a resurgence. Online marketplaces, auctions, and grading services have made it easier than ever for enthusiasts to connect, compare, and appraise their collections. The internet is flooded with photos and videos of rare coins, with collectors eager to share their discoveries and learn from others. And amidst this booming interest, coins like the 1971 quarter are rising in fame and fortune. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive deeper into the stories behind specific discoveries, expert grading details, historical relevance, and how a single Washington quarter from 1971 ended up being worth $116,000. Top 6. The 1974 Washington quarter dollar is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. While the Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since its introduction in 1932, each year brings its own unique story, rarity factors, and collector interest. The 1974 quarter, at first glance, appears to be a common coin, a simple silver-colored quarter featuring the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse, and the iconic eagle clutching arrows and olive branches on the reverse. Yet beneath this seemingly ordinary surface lies a story that has intrigued collectors and experts for decades. In particular, certain examples of the 1974 Washington quarter have achieved remarkable status due to their condition, minting variations, and rarity, culminating in an extraordinary value that continues to captivate the coin collecting community. Understanding why the 1974 Washington quarter commands such interest begins with its place in the broader history of American quarters. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, replacing the standing Liberty quarter. Its design, created by John Flanagan, was chosen to celebrate the nation's first president and to instill a sense of patriotism in everyday currency. From 1932 to 1964, these quarters were struck in 90% silver, giving them intrinsic value beyond their face value. However, starting in 1965, the mint switched to a clad composition of copper and nickel, making the coins more affordable to produce but less valuable in terms of metal content. The year 1974 stands at an interesting crossroads in American coinage. The post-silver era had firmly taken hold, but the coin was still widely used in circulation and remained an important symbol of the nation's heritage. Millions of 1974 quarters were minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Despite this high mintage, not all coins are created equal. Among these quarters are hidden gems, examples that stand out because of pristine condition, unique minting errors, or limited production runs. Collectors have long sought out such coins, recognizing that even modern coins can carry tremendous numismatic value when rarity and demand align. One of the most important factors that contribute to the 1974 quarter's value is its grade, which refers to the coin's condition and overall preservation. While circulated quarters from 1974 are generally common and worth face value, uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by reputable grading services, can command significantly higher prices. This is due to their sharp details, full luster, and absence of wear or damage. For collectors, the higher the grade, the more desirable the coin. Additionally, proof coins, struck with special dies and polished blanks for collectors, often fetch higher values than regular business strikes. The 1974 proof quarters, produced at the San Francisco Mint, are known for their mirror-like finish and crisp details, making them particularly attractive to numismatists. Beyond condition, the 1974 Washington quarter also holds interest for its minting variations and errors. Errors can occur in any year of coinage, but can elevate a coin from common to rare overnight. For example, some 1974 quarters have been discovered with doubled dies, where the design elements appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. Other known errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks, each offering a unique story and adding to the coin's collectible appeal. When authenticated and graded, error coins can bring several times the value of a typical quarter. The significance of the 1974 Washington quarter extends beyond its physical characteristics to its place in American culture and collecting history. For many collectors, this coin represents a time of transition in the U.S. Mint's production processes and the ongoing evolution of coinage materials and designs. It symbolizes the blend of tradition and modernization that defines the post-1965 era of American coins. Whether displayed in a collection, examined under magnification, or traded at auction, the 1974 quarter carries a narrative that bridges generations. In terms of market value, the 1974 Washington quarter is widely accessible to collectors of all levels, but the truly exceptional examples can achieve astonishing prices. A 1974 quarter in average circulated condition might be worth only its face value or slightly more to collectors interested in completing date sets. However, when you consider coins with top-grade condition, proof finish, or notable errors, the stakes rise dramatically. Some rare specimens have been known to sell for six-figure sums at auction, a testament to their desirability and scarcity. In particular, a 1974 Washington quarter, graded at the highest quality and verified for exceptional minting characteristics, can command a value reaching $108,000. This price point might come as a surprise to many, especially since quarters are everyday coins. Yet it underscores a fundamental truth of numismatics. Value is driven by rarity, condition, and demand, rather than just metal content or face value. A coin that can tell a story, that can connect collectors to a particular moment in history, and that can showcase the artistry and precision of minting, will always hold a special place in the market. Collectors and investors who seek out these rare 1974 quarters are often motivated by the thrill of discovery and the potential financial rewards. Auctions, private sales, and coin shows are fertile grounds for spotting these coins. Grading companies play a crucial role in this ecosystem, providing authentication and condition assessments that establish a coin's market worth. With the right knowledge and patience, anyone can dive into the world of Washington quarters and perhaps one day own a coin that is worth more than most could imagine. In conclusion, the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1974 is much more than just a coin. It is a tangible piece of history, a testament to the art and science of coin making, and a beacon of hope for collectors dreaming of discovering their own treasure. Its value reflects not only its physical attributes but also the stories, passion, and dedication that surround numismatics. A pristine, rare 1974 quarter can be worth $108,000, a figure that exemplifies the extraordinary potential hidden in even the smallest pieces of metal. Top 7. In the fascinating world of rare coins, there are certain pieces that manage to rise above their everyday appearances and become legendary among collectors. One such coin, often passed through hands without a second glance, is the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1979. To the average person, this coin might look like just another piece of pocket change, familiar, silver-colored, and unremarkable. But beneath its common facade lies a story filled with history, minting anomalies, and the potential for immense value that has captured the imagination of numismatists and treasure hunters alike. The Washington quarter has a long and storied history, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a stately profile of the first President of the United States, while the reverse during this period showcases a proud eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness. For decades, the Washington quarter remained a staple of American currency, trusted by millions for its reliability, and used daily for everything from vending machines to parking meters. But in the sea of billions of quarters minted over the years, certain rare issues stand out, sometimes dramatically. The 1979 Washington quarter is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become extraordinarily valuable under just the right circumstances. At a glance, it may appear indistinguishable from others minted that same year. But keen-eyed collectors know to look deeper. During the late 1970s, the U.S. Mint was transitioning in various ways, including technological upgrades in minting equipment and refining quality control processes. As with many transitions in large systems, the potential for error, and thus rarity, was significant. Some 1979 quarters were struck with misaligned dies, double dies, off-center strikes, or even on incorrect planchets. Others were preserved in remarkably pristine condition, escaping the wear and tear of circulation and maintaining their luster for decades. What makes these rare 1979 quarters especially valuable is a combination of factors: condition, rarity, and unique minting errors. For example, some collectors have found quarters from this year that display doubling in the date, or lettering, a type of minting error that significantly increases the coin's value. Others might feature highly desirable deep cameo finishes from proof sets or special strike qualities that set them apart from the average issue. And then there are those elusive examples struck on silver planchets, an occurrence that should not have happened in 1979, making such coins an exceptional find for anyone lucky enough to spot one. Collectors often send their quarters for professional grading, with top-tier examples receiving grades of MS67 or higher, mint-state coins that appear untouched by time. These coins, with their flawless surfaces and crisp details, are the crown jewels of any collection. As demand for high-grade and era coins continues to grow, the value of these numismatic treasures has only increased, with auctions showcasing fierce bidding wars for top-tier 1979 Washington quarters. What truly excites people about the world of rare coins is the chance, however slim, that a life-changing discovery could be sitting unnoticed in a change jar, a desk drawer, or an old coin album passed down through generations. The thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of identification, and the potential for enormous payoff all add to the allure. Stories continue to surface of collectors who once believed they owned nothing special, only to realize they were holding something exceptional. The 1979 Washington quarter stands as a testament to how even the most unassuming coin can carry tremendous value. In fact, one rare and perfectly preserved example of this iconic coin sold for an astonishing $102,000.